Hi, I'm Nag, and a question I get often in Anime Last Stand is how do I always have so many rerolls? So today, I compiled the 3 best methods of farming rerolls in Anime Last Stand, ranging from Noob, which is essentially what beginner players can just do, Mid, where you need some more resources until you can start doing, and Pro, where hey, you gotta be pretty decent to do it, but it will be the most overpowered way. So let's hop right in. Alright, so even though I'll be categorizing this video into a Noob, Mid, and Pro, even if you are an advanced player, any of these methods are valid. I used all of them because, simply speaking, they all have their ups and downs. But before the AFK methods, if you just want rerolls and you cannot AFK, here are all the best ways of getting rerolls as a active player. So you cannot AFK overnight because either you can't leave your computer all night running, or I guess you just don't want to. Your daily quests do give you a lot of rerolls. Right here, summon 4 times any banner, you get 7 rerolls for these 2. Very simple. And then in World 2, same thing, you do your quests, all daily quests, you get 8 rerolls here. Weekly, you get 20. I've already done mine, but you get 20. That everyone knows. Plus there's other quests like the permanent ones, or sorry, the starter ones, where if you do each stage on Nightmare, you get a reroll. These reset every once in a while. I don't know if it's every update, but they reset. So if you want to just sweep these every update for extra rerolls, feel free to. But the best of all active methods is the raid. In here, you have 4 maps. Each of these can get you 15 rerolls per day in a very, well, relatively short amount of time. So 60 rerolls in, I would say, 30 minutes. Hey, pretty good ratio. Stage 6 of each of these will give you a guaranteed 5 rerolls on the first 3 completions of the day. And you can see the timer of the daily reset right here. So you'll know when you can do it again. Just go through, beat stage 6 on each of these maps every single day if you can't AFK farm. If you can AFK farm, honestly, you don't need to do all that. But what we're here for are the AFK methods. How do you get actually a bunch of rerolls? Because if you watch my latest video on Dio, you will see that I used a bunch of rerolls to get him Avatar. At the end of that video, or at the end of my reroll session, I had 200 rerolls, or around that, I think a little less. Right now, it's been... So that day was Sunday. Today's Thursday. So it's been like 4 days. It was Sunday night. It's 2 p.m. right now. I have now 1,300 rerolls. So I got about 1,000 rerolls, 1,100 rerolls, give or take, in just 4 days. So here's each of the methods. Here's what I would call the noob method. But really, I do this all the time. And it is simply infinite. World 1 infinite to be exact, because what you really want is to do a macro for the infinites on Infested City or Lost Castle for these nice demon capsules or black swordman capsules. Now, why is that? Assuming you are a new player, for one, getting Rengoku is so beneficial. We're going to talk about actually how to become a pro by utilizing these methods later in this video, but so huge. If you don't have Rengoku, please macro farm Infested City. It's so beneficial. But also these give you resources. In this video, we're focusing on rerolls, but we also can't ignore that other resources are very important, like stat cubes. They reroll unit stats. You can see I have 3,800 because, well, Infinite drops a ton of them. Perfect stat cubes drop from the capsules that you get from Infinite. Mythic spirit shards drop from those capsules. They are quite rare, but they drop. Other spirit shards as well. So there are resources that you'll be getting by doing this farm. Now, how do you get rerolls from those? Permanent kill quest. Right now I'll get nothing, but believe me, these can get you a lot of rerolls. Per night, you should be expecting like 100. So this is the worst. 100 rerolls in a night, that's the worst possible. Now, how to set up a infinite macro? Let me show you. If you've never used a macro for Roblox before, how? But this is the program legit everyone uses. It's called Tiny Task. I don't know exactly why everyone uses this. I use it. Everyone does. I'm just accepting it. It is just a very nice and simple program. I'll leave a link in the description to download it. It doesn't have any ads or anything. It's just a program. But there are other macro programs if you want to use. By the way, macro farming is not against terms of service. You cannot get banned for using this. If you use a program that injects something in the game, which if you don't even know what that means, don't worry about it, then yes, you get banned. But this is simply a program that records your mouse movements and keyboard movements, or clicks. That is completely fine. No game is gonna ban you for this unless the devs are insane. So in our tiny task, we go on preferences. You make sure that the recording hotkey is something we can click very easily because we're gonna record a new macro. And I'm gonna try to explain how to make a macro for, you guys that have never done this before, but I'm gonna explain how I do it my way because there's ways people do it and my way is the best. No, but seriously, like if you've dealt with making macros before and you've given up because they keep breaking, I'm gonna show you a way to never break a macro again. This won't work for any macro that you want to do, but it will work for the ones in this video. So for this one in specific, I came in here with some bad units, but the reason for that is how I use this specific farm is to farm kills. So for example, Giorno here, he has 0 kills, but let's say in the future I want to use him, I might want to get his skill tree done. 25,000 kills is quite a lot of kills. So I bring in characters that don't have that many kills. My Naruto, I never farmed them. I just brought them in here. These characters have no kills in them, so I kill farm them. You could just do this with one unit if you want, but I usually bring a full team. So I place down all of my characters before recording the macro. So I'm just gonna place them at sort of like a spaced out position like this. And I always make sure that I bring a character that can be placed in the first wave and is either hybrid or a hill. That will take care of any flyings that could be spawning in the first wave. Some maps do that, some maps don't. With our tiny task, again, make sure to have a hotkey you remember. Mine is F8. How I start it is by clicking where the retry button will be. Once you fail the infinite, because I don't know if you know this, but you can't win on infinite. Eventually you fail on it. You get the option right here on screen to retry or to quit. Remember where retry is. It will be around where my mouse is. It's like on the left bottom side of your character. The right bottom side is going to be exit. Click F8 to start the macro. After all the units are placed, by the way, first place your characters at a position where they're a little spaced out. Click the button to start recording. Spam click where retry is. Try not to click where the other option will be. And then place your characters one by one. As soon as you click where they are supposed to be placed, the box to upgrade is also going to show up. So click where upgrade is, spam click, and just go by doing that. I misclicked. It's fine. Click on, as soon as you click on the character, it's going to show up to upgrade, and you just do that for every single character. Boom. 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 And last character. Boom. And you end the macro. That's it. You might know if you've tried making macros before, you've seen other guides. A lot of people try to make these very elaborate macros where you do just a bunch of stuff. And what I find is, if you try to make it too complicated, something eventually breaks. And when you wake up the next day, you're in the lobby because it failed. By making the macro super simple, it never breaks. Now, in our preferences here, we want to make sure continuous playback is on. And I set a high custom speed. For me, it's 40. It can be between like 20 and 100. It doesn't really matter. As soon as we click the play hotkey, I clicked the wrong one. It will spam click where retry is. So as soon as it ends, it will click retry. And as soon as the next run starts, it will spam place the characters and upgrade them. Again, this will never break. Unless you get disconnected or you do something wrong. Not that if you don't do exactly what I showed, where, you spam click where retry is. Now, if you don't know where retry is and you want like a visual aid, just, let yourself lose. I'm just gonna sell all my towers. Right there, you can see that's where retry is. I'm gonna click F8, which is my playback key. And you'll see it's spammed on that general direction. It doesn't have to be exactly where it is, but it will retry, it will start again. And it doesn't matter where it starts when the battle starts. Like, it was placed in Naruto, but that's fine. This map doesn't opens with flying enemies, I believe. If it did, then I would make sure not to bring any characters that could mess it up. Like, not bring a character under 600, but it is okay. Your characters don't have to be good to make this, which is why I put in the noob tier. But it is a macro that even as an advanced player, I use to farm kills, and capsules. Capsules also give XP, which is very useful. And like I said, will never break. This macro is perfect. You can save this, and anytime you just want to farm kills, or you want to farm, I don't know, again, XP mats, whatever. Even as an advanced player, it works every time. But again, this is the worst of the three in terms of rerolls. So let me go to a better one. For the mid tier, it is actually challenges. So this used to be the best way of farming rerolls back in the day. And this is how I actually have so many mythic spirit shards. Every time I record a video, people are like, how do you have so many mythic spirit shards? Challenges. So this way, you will get a very, very good amount of rerolls, not as much as the best method, but a very good amount of rerolls. More importantly, you'll get resources as well. Just like with Infinite, you will be getting a ton of shards. Again, look how many shards I have. I haven't done this farm in months, by the way. This is how many I've been stocked up for a while. It has to be in World 1 because the challenges in World 2 are very difficult. The only problem with challenge farming is that challenges, if you don't know, change every 30 minutes. Oh, you actually just changed right there. And some of these are really bad, like Snowy Domain High Cost, that's really bad. Really, really bad. So you do have to wait for the, like, perfect opportunity to put a macro down. But in any case, it is, I would say, the best. So for this, you're gonna have some better characters. You're gonna need some better characters. For the noob method, you could use whatever you want. So long as you can take care of the flying, it doesn't really matter. I would recommend that you have a overlord or above unit that can deal with flying enemies on the first wave. So Benimaru is, I would say, the best character to make AFK farms in the game. He's just so good. I really want to get glitched on him one day. But some lesser good characters that are also usable. Bowback is apparently going to get an evolution, so we'll see about that. But he used to be the GOAT back in the day. Again, we're looking for a character that is 600 or less. Preferably 450 for those high cost ones, but 600 or less. So, you know, Law, which is not obtainable anymore, so unlucky. Diavolo, he is a hybrid on placement 600. Very, very good. He's currently available, but I believe he's limited, so a lot of good limited 600 characters. Frieren, again, limited. But then we have Tatsumaki and Garu. These are super, super good for what we're trying to do here. I'm gonna go with Benimaru because he is the best, but oh, this one is terrible. Actually, I have to go with yeah, this is not one I would farm personally, Snowy Domain High Cost, but I'm gonna just demonstrate. Now for challenges, it is quite a lot different because the way I do it is, again, I try to make it as simple as possible so it never breaks. I only bring one unit for this and for the better method. So we start recording. So click the hotkey to start recording. Spam where retry is. Again, if you don't know where retry is, just lose once or win once, and then you know. Memorize it's at this area where my mouse is, at the left bottom side of your character. So again, click record. Spam where retry is, click the character, put him in a position where he's going to hit the enemies, and then click upgrade and macro. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. Now, when I play the macro, and assuming this is even beatable, because actually, it might be a little too hard. I don't know, this map might be a little too hard, but we'll see. Ideally, you want to get one of the earlier maps, like Namek or something of the sorts. Yeah, Defeat. This one is not doable. This map is not doable. But what's important is that it will click retry every time. It will place the unit. It will upgrade the unit. It will keep retrying. So long as it's a map that's doable, this one is not. If not for high cost, I would have been able to place Benimaru, then it would be doable. This map, like, look how far we are from the road. That's the problem. The place we spawn, I mean, we have a hill right next to us, but the camera doesn't let us. If we spawned, like, right here, then, yeah, it would have been fine. But it's irrelevant. I'm just gonna let this end so that I can show you guys the rewards for being challenged. Maybe I'll get a reroll. You can get rerolls, like I said, the spirit shards, and by getting so many kills, you'll be getting the rerolls from the kill quest. Now, because of how challenges work, you know, every 30 minutes is a new map with a new modifier. If you do want to grind this for the spirit shards mainly, what I would recommend is that, you know, you have multiple recordings for each map, or, you know, one recording per map. So whenever you go to sleep or whatever, you see, oh, it's Namek right now. So you have a recording of a macro for Namek ready to go. So you just select it, and then boom. You won't just do it all at once, you know. It's just, it'll take some time to get to play all the maps as challenges. But let me tell you, back in the day, we used to get the Naruto map as a desert village, and as long as it didn't disconnect, I would leave it farming for like weeks straight. It was the best way of getting euros. No, it's not. It's actually incomparable to the best. The best is so much better. But this is good for the spirit shards. Yeah, right there. We got epic spirit shards. We also got the cursed finger, which I guess you can sell for gold. I don't know what else you would do with that. Maybe if you still need to evolve Sukuna. Didn't get a reroll here, but rerolls do drop. Now for the one you guys be ready for, the pro method. And this one is not pro because it's the hardest. Although I will say it is the hardest. But it's the one that has the most, I would say, you know, potential for rerolls. Raids. Like I said, if you're farming manually, you have your 3 completions of the day that you gotta do for each individual map. But for AFK farming, raids are crazy. And my boy Benimaru is the GOAT for farming. Look how many kills I have on him. 6.3 million. It does not really matter which raid you pick. So let's say, for example, you don't have Benimaru, which is the best heal unit for farming because he's 600 placement, but you got very lucky and you have a Diavolo with a good trait, right? Then you can pick one that doesn't need a heal. But how I do it is I go in Hell City because honestly, the placement is just the best, I feel like, where you spawn. Stage 6, and with the tiny task, we do the exact same thing that we did with the challenges, where it's just 3 things you're going to do. 1, start recording, click where retry is. Like I said, it's on the bottom left of your character. You place Benimaru. This map, you need to like find the correct placement. So let me actually restart. So that is the correct placement right there. So forgot about that. It's been a while since I've actually recorded this. Been using it for a long time. First place Benimaru, or it doesn't have to be Benimaru. I'm just using him as an example. But he is just so good. You could do even not a 600 character. Maybe you could do Rengoku, but you're gonna have to wait like a wave for him to place. But that's still fine. What really matters is that you have a good unit that can handle flying in the first wave. That's what's important. That's why Benimaru is the best. So if you don't have him yet, I urge you to get him. In any case, after he's already placed, I place him on the hill right in front of me. I click F8 to start recording my macro. Spam where retry is. Click to place Benimaru, click exactly where I placed him, exactly, and then spam upgrade, end of macro. That's it. 3 things you gotta do. Retry, place, upgrade. No more. No more. No complicated walk here, you know, micromanage the upgrades of each character you place. No, it's as simple as it gets. And when you play it back, it can't place him on the floor because it's a hill, so it never places wrong. There's only one thing that it can happen. It places him there, and it upgrades him, and it retries. So it will never break. This is the thing with, you know, recording tiny tasks or macros that have a lot of inputs. Sometimes something happens that it breaks. It might not happen, you know, in like 5 hours of it going. But when you have a macro, like me, I run my macros on my laptop. Sometimes I have ALS macroing for like multiple days straight. Let me tell you, it has never broken because it's a very simple, very, very simple macro. And I'm using Benimaru as my example right here. If you don't have Benimaru, again, get him. But if you don't have him, just make sure that the unit that you choose to do this with can handle first wave flying for the raid of your choice. I'm gonna wait for this to end, but I'm gonna show you that this can be done in any raid. It will just, you know, you make the macro for that raid, and that's the thing that you do. It's as simple as it gets. All right, the stage is about to end. The macro is still running. And at the very moment that it ends, it will restart because it will click retry. Yeah, boom. It's already going for the next one. It just takes a little while to load. No matter what happens, this macro will always succeed. Unless you mess up the placement like I did. Yeah, that can be a little finicky. This is why, I mean, okay, it worked actually. I did it myself, okay. I finally made a mistake. No mistakes here. Boom, perfect, perfect. This is my preferred way of farming rerolls. It is the best way. Now, caveat. Why? Even though it's the best, it is not the only way anyone should do this. This will only give you rerolls, that's it. That's all you're getting out of this. While, if you look at the challenge farm, and even an infinite farm, there are other resources you're getting other than just rerolls. So if all you want is rerolls, raids. If you want some other stuff, I gave you 2 other options. All right, so I was going to leave it there for the raid farm, but because I want to be considerate that some of you guys might not have Benimaru, I went ahead and tried something. So Garu is all you need. If you don't have Garu, pull him from the banner whenever he's banner. Make sure to get him. He is such a good unit. He's so easy to get, so easy to evolve. A Garu with Overlord can do this raid farm. You don't need Benimaru if you don't have him. World 1 character Garu. Huge, huge. Marineford, stage 6. Let's go in. This is so simple. It pains me that I didn't realize that this was possible before. Only now I was like, man, I don't want to only have Benimaru in this video. So we want to place Garu right where retry is. Again, if you've been skipping the video, retry is going to be at the bottom left of your character, right? To record this macro, it's very simple. We're going to click record. I click play. We're going to click record. We're going to click to place Garu right where retry is and then upgrade him. That's it. 2 inputs. Now, when we play it back, we're going to constantly place Garu and then upgrade him, right? And like I said, it's going to retry as soon as we win. Let me skip to wave 20 to show that Garu with Overlord, not even Avatar, Overlord can solo this with no problems. All right, we're wave 20. I have the macro off because, you know, I'm not just going to have it on when I don't have to upgrade anymore, but I'll turn it back on. As you can see, Garu is just handling wave 20. And the boss is dead. Boom. Unless I messed it up. Nope, it should be fine. We retry. And because the macro is so simple, there's 2 inputs. You click 2 places. It will never, ever, ever break. Garu got placed, and he's gonna keep getting upgraded, and as soon as we win, he clicks retry. There's no way it breaks. It's impossible to break because it's just so simple. So if you guys can do the Benimaru, hey, I found an alternative. Honestly, this one is so good I might start doing it. I wouldn't use Garu though. I probably would use Diavolo because it does more damage. It's a little more safe. But hey man, crazy, right? All right, so now that you've got your rerolls sorted, how do you use them to become a pro in Anime Last Stand essentially? You want to know who to roll on so you can build your teams the best possible. Information is your best friend. And how do you know who are the best characters, who to pull on with your very limited jewels and whatnot, or, you know, just gems? I have 5 million gems, so I wouldn't call that limited, but, you know. In the Discord, there are 2 great assets that you can use to your advantage. One, the tier list chat has tier lists, and the reason why I've personally never made a video on a tier list or made a tier list of my own like I've done for Anime Defenders or Anime Vanguards is because the tier lists that these guys make on the wiki are so good, I don't think there's a point on me making my own. So big ups to those guys that make the tier lists on the Discord. I'll put on screen, or not me, Troco's gonna put it on screen. I'm not putting nothing. The elemental one that they have. And this one is such a good, almost guide for new players on who to focus on. I believe they order from left to right on priority, and it's so good. So for example, they have on the fire tier, Rengoku. Now, I'm hard pressed to say that Rengoku is a better unit than Escanor, even though he's more to the left, but it is true that getting a Rengoku with Overlord or Avatar is very important because he's good for the early game of Fire Element. So any given moment that you want to get any knowledge on what characters to work on, go to the Discord server on the tier list tab. Information is good there. They have my thumbs up. Not that they needed it, but, you know, I'm telling you guys they do. Also, another great resource they have in the Discord is the DPS chart. Now, DPS chart is a little more abstract of an information because, for example, they have 3 different ways where it's every trait possible, you know, so whoever does the most damage with each trait. Without glitched, because glitched is so difficult to get that they have a tier for without it. And then only glitched, which is a funny one because glitch is always going to be at the top. But for example, if you go on the non-glitch section, which is the one I usually use, you see, oh, Shinigami Kira is #1 DPS in the game. For sure, I should get Shinigami on Kira. Not exactly, right? So you take in, oh, he does a ton of damage. And that's the information you need. Just because a character is at the top doesn't mean they're better than the others. For example, Sun Jin-woo is pretty high here because of his Hemorrhage passive, but honestly, I'm hard-pressed to call him better than anyone that he's above here, to be honest. Like, yeah, he's not better than any character I'm scrolling for, I'll be real. So it's a good resource to have. It's not gospel, it's not the Bible here, but it's nice to see the numbers and know who's doing more damage at max upgrade. Yeah, with the reroll methods I've shown, and with the information you can get from these resources, I hope that has helped at least some of you, and that's it. YouTube thinks you're gonna like a video showing up on screen or whatever. I'm out.